For the last 55 years, Kwanzaa has been celebrated in the United States as a way to honor African American culture and heritage. Joining us with more on how the Lowcountry will be observing this year is Sarah Nesbitt, chairperson for the original Charleston Lowcountry Kwanzaa Planning Committee, and Elder Carly Town, founder of the Gullah Geechee Angle Network and Minister of Information for the Gullah Geechee Nation. Ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
You have created such a beautiful spread for us to invite us into what Kwanzaa is all about.
That's correct.
And it ranges from candles to, it looks like a harvest, to so much more, family.
Yes.
So maybe we could talk a little bit about the meaning of Kwanzaa and why it is celebrated. Ms. Sarah, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us what that means.
Kwanzaa, the meaning is to celebrate the African American culture, community, and each one of us. Our, as you stated, it started 55 years ago. In the Lowcountry, we've been celebrating Kwanzaa for the last 43 years. Kwanzaa originated and was introduced into the Lowcountry by Carl Gathers in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And from that time, we've been celebrating Kwanzaa in the Lowcountry from Somerville to Charleston to Wadmalaw Island and thereabouts.
Ladies, if I could also note, though, you look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the clothes that you're
Thank
wearing.
you.
And this is a celebration of your African American heritage, of your African heritage. And Elder Carly Town, I would love to ask you now, though Kwanzaa was celebrated only starting 55 years ago here in this country, how did the Gullah Geechee Nation of citizens celebrate their African culture?
Well, basically, we did the same thing that Kwanzaa is doing. That's why we're so apt to do Kwanzaa, because we actually have the same principles. And so it was easy. It was what we call blood memory.
Yes.
It was in our DNA. So.
Yeah, so really when you think about it, it had always been celebrated in some way or another, but it became more of the national awareness 55 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
It became more formalized 55 years ago, but throughout our history and our culture, just by the 7 principles, we've always embraced our African heritage.
Most definitely. And what are those 7 principles?
The 7th principle is the first is Ujamaa. It means unity. The second is Kujichakulia, which means self-determination. The third is Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. The 4th is Elder Carly.
Yes, I am going to be celebrating Ujamaa in my community of Union Heights, and we are going to be celebrating it December 29th.
And that's what the 7 principles are all about. So it's about community, it's about family, it's about being together, culture, coming together. And would you say that each of these candles represents one of those principles?
Yes, and the principle of Umoja will be celebrated on the 26th, the first night that we celebrate Kwanzaa, and that would be at the Revelation Universal Churches in Somerville, South Carolina.
Wonderful. And may I also ask, in the language that you were reciting each principle, what language is that?
It's Kiswahili.
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Yes, it's Swahili. And it's amazing because I got a chance to go to Tanzania last year and actually hear the language and really understood the principles even more.
That's incredible. Did it make you feel even more connected?
Yes,
yeah.
yes it did. Yes it did. I was very connected.
At what point in your upbringing did you become more connected to your African heritage? Have you always been, or is this something that came later in life?
For me, it's always been, it's like I always felt this connection to my ancestors from Africa, so it's always been there. It's like I said, it's in my DNA, so I was always apt to be the one that likes to have the wrap on and you know, bring the family together.
Yes, and for you, Miss Sarah, were you born and raised in the Lowcountry?
Yes, I was born and raised in the Lowcountry, and for me, it was with my family. We've always embraced our heritage, our history, and our culture. But at the age of 12 years old was the first time that I marched. I marched with Dr. King and others right at on King Street. in the front of what was then the Woolworth.
Yeah.
Yes, you remember that?
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
for us, it's not, we are not newbies to the culture. We are not newbies to embracing our heritage. We are not newbies into teaching our children and having them teach their children. Kwanzaa for us is a collaboration of all organizations coming together with one main purpose and one main idea, is to get the principles over, to teach our children, and to be sure that our history, our legacy is forever.
And you're doing a wonderful job. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for sharing
you
this
so
with us.
much.
Really appreciate
Appreciate
it.
you.
Happy Kwanzaa, everyone.
And happy Kwanzaa.
We're back after this.